In this section, we'll see how to do an advanced Google search. Now, what you need to do is to go to the normal Google address and then just do /advanced_search. When you do that, a special page comes up, and let's look at this for real. We'll go live here. So as you can see, it's a normal Google address, then you have /advanced_search. So you've got various options here, so you can have all of these words. So if I typed in, I don't know, in my case, maybe SEO training Perth, then it would only show websites containing all 3 words. This next one here is an exact word or phrase, so I could have something like WordPress seminars, and it would only show that exact phrase, WordPress seminars. This next one is like any of these words, so if I typed in half a dozen words here, then any website that contained all or some of those words would be displayed. Conversely, you can say you want to exclude something. So let's say you wanted to exclude, say, the word USA or UK. You could type that in here. Down here you can narrow your results, so where it says any language, if you click on the down arrow here, as you can see, you've got a load of different languages. You know, the default one is English. In the region, again, if you click on the down arrow, you can specify a region. So in my case, let's say I just wanted to specify Australia, I could specify that there, or alternatively I could select the default, which is any region. Let's say I want to do some research on, freshly updated websites. I could just specify pages that have been updated maybe in the last year, or in the last month, or the last week, or the last 24 hours. I can find my search so that if I type in a domain name here, www, whatever it is, then whenever I do a search up here, I could specify I only want that search to take place within a selected domain. Now this is interesting. You see where it says terms appearing. If you click on the down arrow here, you've got a number of different options. You can have anywhere in the page, in the title of the page, in the text of the page, in the URL of the page, or in links in the page, what's called anchor text. Now this is a real giveaway that those are very, very important areas for SEO, because the fact you can search by those different areas means that Google tracks this and that those areas are very important. So to put it another way, this is saying that the title on the page is very, very important. Obviously the text within the page is very important. The words that make up the URL are important, and the words that make up the text links on a page are also very important. So there's a very strong hint there that these things are very, very important from an SEO point of view. But it also means in this case I can do competitor research, for instance just looking at stuff in the title, the text, the URL, or in the anchor text that make up the text links. You can also filter if you want, so you can do a safe search. If I move down slightly, something else you can do is do a search by file type. And again, this is a real giveaway from an SEO point of view. The fact that you can search for PDF files, or if we move down a bit here, PowerPoint files, or document files, or rich text files, RTF files. The fact that you can search for those is another huge SEO giveaway, because what it's saying is that if you create things like PowerPoint, Excel, or PDF files, then these can show up in the search engine results. So again, a huge sort of pointer towards good SEO there. But it also means, looking at it from the research point of view, it means that, for instance, you could have a look here and say, I just want to show PDF files. So what you could do is you could search up here for something relating to something you're interested in and only show PDF files, and that would allow you to investigate the way your competitors use PDF files or Word documents or whatever it happens to be. Something else that's kind of useful here, you've got some other bits down the bottom here. So for instance, you can find pages that are similar to a particular URL or to a link. You can click on where it says use operators in the search box. And what that means is it will basically explain the sort of things we saw in the last chapter. So if you want, you can do it that way, Or conversely, you can just bring up the advanced search screen here, which just makes it easier. That way you don't have to remember the syntax. Something else that's kind of useful is customize your search settings. If I go and click on that, bear in mind, this whole chapter is about doing competitor analysis. Instead of just having 10 pages displayed on the screen, you can drag this across and then set it to maybe 50. And what that means is that when you do a search on something, instead of the normal 10 results being displayed, you'll have 50 per page, and it just makes it a lot easier to do competitor research. Something else you might want to consider is clicking on this thing down here where it says open each selected result in a new browser window. That means that if you click on an item within the search results, that item will automatically open in a new window. So if I go down here and click on save, so that's now been saved. If I just go to the regular Google here, instantly notice that if you're doing multiple searches, Google will maybe activate this thing here, because what Google doesn't want is automatic software continually using their systems. It kind of chews up their bandwidth. So if you do see this thing that's just popped up here displayed on your screen, don't worry. Basically, Google making sure that you're a real person, not some automated software trying to spam their system. So select all images with mountains or hills. So what have we got? There's one, there's one, there's one. Verify. Submit. And providing you got that right, you're back where you were. So as I say, if you are doing a lot of searches within Google, you'll probably see that little pop-up that we just saw there. And it's just Google's way of verifying you're a human person as opposed to some software who's just trying to spam their system. Anyway, if we go back to regular Google now that we've saved those changes, if I do a search for something, so for instance, I'll search for making a will in Journal app. As you can see, instead of the usual 10 results, I've now got 50 results being displayed, or up to 50 results. And if I just go and click on one at random, maybe this one here, notice it'll open in a new tab. So that's the original tab. This is the new tab that's opening. Going a little bit slow, that one. Let's go back here and we'll click on something else. Again, just at random. Click on this one here. And again, it's opened in a new tab.